Namaste, Satiharu. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a powerful teaching from the Buddha. Be your own light, and exploring how this timeless wisdom can play a pivotal role in shaping a brighter future for Nepal. In a world full of challenges and uncertainty, it's easy to feel lost or dependent on external forces. But what if I told you that the key to Nepal's renaissance lies in each of us? This teaching encourages self-reliance, inner strength, and collective growth. Let's talk about how we can apply Buddha's wisdom to bring about real change in our economy, leadership, and society. Stay tuned. The term Renaissance, which by the way comes from French and means rebirth, typically refers to the European Renaissance of the 14th to 16th centuries, a period of cultural and economic revival. However, long before that era, various civilizations experienced remarkable surges in economic development, their own sorts of economic renaissances. These were times when trade, innovation, and prosperity flourished, often laying foundational stones for economic systems. Below, we explore 5 significant early economic booms across world history, from ancient Mesopotamia's first money economy to the European Renaissance itself, and why each could be considered a first economic renaissance in its own context. Mesopotamia, the first known economic system, around 3000 to 2000 BCE. Ancient Mesopotamia, which is modern-day Iraq, saw the emergence of the world's first recorded economy, driven by the Sumerians, Akkadians, and Babylonians. They built cities, developed irrigation for agriculture, and conducted trade with regions like the Indus Valley and Egypt. As trade expanded, Mesopotamians introduced early forms of currency, including a silver standard, and used barley as small change. Clay tablets and tokens were used to record transactions, making Mesopotamia the birthplace of bookkeeping. The development of taxation and redistribution within temples and palaces led to a planned economy under rulers like Hammurabi. Why it matters? Mesopotamia introduced fundamental economic principles such as currency, record-keeping, trade, and taxation, laying the foundation for future civilizations. The Maurya Empire, India's early economic planning, around 300 BCE. The Mauryan Empire, under Chandragupta Maurya, created one of the first examples of centralized economic planning. The Artha Shastra, written by Kautilya, provided a comprehensive guide to governance, taxation, trade regulations, labor management, and public works. The Mauryan government managed agriculture, forests, mining, and infrastructure while maintaining a fair tax system. The state actively encouraged economic development, regulated markets, and even offered welfare during disasters, creating an early form of a welfare state. Why it matters? The Mauryan Empire's approach to economic governance, including centralized planning, welfare, and market regulation, represents an early precursor to modern economic management. During the Islamic Golden Age, which spanned from around 700 to 1300 AD, a vast trade network connected regions stretching all the way from Spain to India. This really created the world's first truly global economy, with merchants making use of credit systems, checks known as SAC, and some pretty sophisticated banking practices. The use of a common currency, along with the development of new financial instruments, made long-distance trade not just possible, but actually quite efficient. This era also saw impressive advancements in agriculture, industry, and knowledge, positioning the Islamic world as the economic leader for several centuries. Why does this matter? Well, the Islamic Golden Age pioneered many of the elements we associate with modern capitalism today, such as global markets, financial instruments, and international commerce. During the Song dynasty, from 960 to 1279 AD, China experienced an economic boom that, honestly, some historians consider a kind of pre-industrial revolution. The population grew dramatically, and this was really supported by some major agricultural advances. The Song government introduced paper money, which made trade a lot easier by simplifying transactions. urbanization took off, with cities becoming lively centers of commerce and everyday consumer life. There was also significant industrial growth, especially in iron, textiles, and shipbuilding, leading to advances that would actually inspire future industrial revolutions. Why does this matter? Song China achieved what you might call an industrial revolution long before Europe did, with innovations like paper money, large-scale production, and urban commercialization. The European Renaissance, which took place from 1300 to 1600 AD, really marked the transition from medieval feudalism to modern capitalism. The revival of trade, especially by Italian city-states like Venice and Florence, sparked a major economic boom. There were some key banking innovations too, such as double-entry bookkeeping and public bonds, which laid the foundation for the financial systems we rely on today. This period also encouraged entrepreneurship, innovation, and the rise of a wealthy merchant class. The Renaissance played a crucial role in global exploration, driving the expansion of both trade and capital. Why does this matter? The European Renaissance is widely seen as the birth of modern capitalism, creating the financial and commercial infrastructure that supports today's global economy. Let's take a quick look at the timeline of early economic booms. Around 3000 BCE in Mesopotamia, we see the first structured trade and economy. This was really the birth of organized trade, currency, and accounting. Fast forward to about 300 BCE in Mauryan India, there was a state-guided economy which brought centralized economic strategy and welfare policies. From 700 to 1300 AD, the Islamic world experienced global trade and early banking, creating the first global economy with some pretty sophisticated financial instruments. Then, during 960 to 1279 AD, Song China introduced paper money and saw remarkable industrial growth, pushing early industrialization and market expansion. Finally, from 1300 to 1600 AD, Europe witnessed a revival of trade and banking, which really marked the birth of modern capitalism and financial systems. Determining the first economic renaissance really depends on how we define it. Mesopotamia created the first organized economy. Mauryan India introduced centralized economic planning. The Islamic Golden Age formed the first global economy. Song China achieved industrial growth before Europe. And the European Renaissance marked the rise of modern capitalism. Each of these periods contributed to the evolution of economic systems, laying the groundwork for the global economy we know today. So, what can Nepal learn from all this? Nepali people can draw valuable lessons from these historical economic renaissances to foster a new era of growth and innovation in Nepal. First, Mesopotamia's organization of trade and currency teaches us the importance of structured economic systems and modern financial infrastructure. The Mauryan Empire's centralized planning and welfare policies show us the value of state-guided development and fair taxation. From the Islamic Golden Age, we learn the power of global trade networks and financial tools to integrate Nepal into the global economy. The Song dynasty's industrial growth highlights the significance of innovation, infrastructure, and technological advancement for a thriving economy. And lastly, the European Renaissance's focus on entrepreneurship and banking offers a roadmap for nurturing a dynamic private sector and capital markets. By integrating these lessons, Nepal can build a resilient economy, prioritize education, foster technological innovation, and create sustainable industries. A strong, organized, and innovative approach can really pave the way for a modern economic renaissance in Nepal, bridging its rich cultural heritage with contemporary global trends. Thank you so much for watching, Sathiharu. I really hope you feel inspired to embrace the power of being your own light, both personally and collectively, for the prosperity of Nepal. If you believe in the power of self-reliance, inner wisdom, and building a brighter future, hit that like button, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe for more insightful discussions. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, How do you think we can use this teaching to transform Nepal? Until next time, stay enlightened and keep shining your light.